cruel eye outward. The little ones spend the day in sigh and dismay. Then my freedom, question mark, question mark, question mark. Where is my freedom? Actual manuscript of the poem itself, the poem, the thematical elements in the poem. So first one is it shows the downside of the education system in this poem. So it will be a very relevant example in your case itself. Hello students, welcome to EOC, which stands for English Online Classes. I am Mahesh and in this video, as you have seen in the title, we are going to learn the poem The Schoolboy for First PUC English. If you haven't watched the previous lesson, The Gentleman of the Jungle, the description of that video will be given in the description as well as in the iCard here. So go there and learn. This is the continuation of the First PUC English syllabus, so you can get a continuity of the lessons in English. So now let's move on to the fun fact about English. A pangram sentence is a sentence where all of the English letters will be included in a single sentence. So all of the 26 letters will be included in this one particular sentence. So if you find such sentences, drop it in the comment section. In the next video, I will be giving the shout out for that particular sentences if it is right. Know something about the poet. Here you can see the poet William Blake, and now he was a poet and a painter and was born in Soho, and he had a little formal education. So now what is formal education? In short, I want to explain you about formal education is that what you are getting now in school is called as formal education. In depth, we will be learning this formal and informal education in this poem itself. So that I'll be explaining while we are discussing about the poem. So now let's continue about the poet. His finest work as an artist is the series Invention of the Book of Job, and now his collection of poetry, some renowned collections of poetries. One is poetical sketches in 1783, songs of innocence 1789, and then marriage of heaven and hell 1790, and songs of experience 1794. And now this poem, The Schoolboy, is taken from the songs of experience as a lyrical form. So it is a lyrical form. The Schoolboy is in a lyrical form, and it has been taken from the series or the poetical collection that is Songs of Experience. Now we have seen about the poet. Now let's know about the poem, the thematical elements in the poem. So first one is it shows the downside of the education system. So it shows the downside of education system. What is the downside? Here the disadvantage or demerits of educational system. So it is showing the downside of education system or disadvantages of educational system. Now the second point is hardship of students in formal education system. So what is hardship? Hardship is like the difficulties, and what difficulties students face in the formal education system, that is explained here in this poem by the poet. And now the fourth one is substance of nature. So substance of nature, here the element of nature or what nature is actually about and what it contributes to a student or to human. So all these things we will be learning in this poem. And the last one is parental vision. So parental vision means what parents think about their children. So what they want to be. For example, the future of a kid, that will be seen by a parent, and how does it impact that child and its life. All these things, all these thematic representations are there in this poem, The Schoolboy. So now before moving on to the poem, so you can see here the actual manuscript of the poem itself. So it is having some creepers and nature. There is a kid who's sitting there, and parents are there. All these, like, it is a handwritten actual original script of the Schoolboy, and what you have is a revised and the typed version, documented version of that poem. So now just jump into the poem and learn the poem itself directly. So now I have given the name for this stanza as a new sun up. Why I have given this? That we will be learning in this stanza. So now let's read this stanza. So now students, keep one thing in mind, that this poem actually is written in the point of view of a schoolboy. So schoolboy is kind of writing this poem. Keep this thing in mind, that the schoolboy is writing this poem. So it will be a relevant idea. And here all of the scenario which I am going to explain you is similar to you. Why? Because all of us have gone through the phase of the school and schooling and education system everywhere, and you are now currently going through the same system, and you will be feeling the same feelings whatever I am explaining here in this poem. So it will be a very relevant example in your case itself, and we can come to know this poem very well if you are keeping yourself here in this poem and understanding this poem. So here it will be a better one. So now poet is saying that it is a sunny morning. Here summer more is not actually the more what you it is not a wrong word. Actually it is a old English where in morning is said as morn. So here morning is pronounced and written as morn. And then here in the sunny morning, what will be the condition? The birds will be singing, and then the sky will be clean, and you will be having a wonderful energy, and you will be having a free mind. And in this environment, what happens? In the distance, the huntsman is winding his horn. So the huntsman is hunter, and he is blowing his horn. So that the idea where here we can understand that some huntsman is there, and he is like blowing the horn. Why? Because he may be calling his mates to go to the hunting, or he is like giving a signal to someone so that he is going to hunting, or I'm ready to hunt, and clear the phase. So all these signals will be given through the horns or blowing the pipes. So here huntsman is blowing the horn. And now next, in the distance, skylark is singing with the poet, with the schoolboy. So skylark does skylark is the bird here. So any bird sings with any human? No. But here the schoolboy is feeling attachment with the bird, and he is thinking and he is feeling that particular bird which is sitting on the tree is singing with me. Why? Because he is having a wonderful early morning view in front of him, and he says, oh, what a sweet company. All these things, all these beautiful environment and the situation what the boy is in, it is a wonderful company to him. And this one here, it is kind of a good mood to the schoolboy. So I have given the title as a new sun up or sunrise. So now let's see the next stanza. Oh, now this. So why I have given this title? Oh, now this. Here let's see what the schoolboy feels when it's time to go to the school. But to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sigh and dismay. So now here in this stanza, schoolboy is having a sad feeling. Sad feeling. He thinks that now, okay, I was in the nature, I was with the nature, and the last stanza was explaining about the good feeling in the nature. So now he is coming to the reality. Okay, now I got up and now I have to go to the school. So what happens? he starts to feel bad and he starts to feel like kind of like depressed. Why? Because he says in this summer morning I have to go to the school, which drives my joy away. Why he says my joys will be taken when I go to the school? Because there will be a cruel eye outworn. Under the cruel eye outworn, I have to sit there, I have to be there in the school, and I have to spend my time in the school. So here underline this word, the under a cruel eye outworn, this sentence, it denotes the instructor or the teacher. So this cruel eye outworn is kind of a suppressive or imposing authority. Actually, imposing authority is designated through the word under a cruel eye outworn. And this one, what happens under this cruel eye, what they do, they spend the whole day under this cruel eye outworn, they spend the whole day. And how they spend their whole day? With joy, laughter, or something like that? Happily are they spending their school time? No, they are spending their school time in sigh and dismay, sadly and with a low energy, with the energy which is low, and they don't want to go. Without their will, they are sitting there in the school and they are sad about it. So now let's see what will be the next stanza saying to us. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn through with the dairy shower. So now there are some words which you have to keep in your mind. That is, one is learning's bower and anxious hour. So these two are kind of important elements in this stanza. So underline that while studying for the examination and while taking the notes as well. So now here poet is explaining about the schoolboy is drooping sit. What is drooping sit? Have you seen a lotus in the evening time? How it will be? Like lotus will be in the morning, it will be flowered and it will be very beautiful, and when the sun sets, what happens? The lotus droops down, it bends down. Drooping down means it is bending down and it is sleeping there. So the same way here, drooping sit means the student will be bent and he will be sitting there without like any energy and without the feeling of the happiness. So he is bored and he is tired and he is sitting there droopingly, or by shrinking his shoulder, and is bending down, and is sitting on there in the class. So now how he sits, drooping sit, and then for an anxious hour, many anxious hour. How he sits? Droopingly he sits, and he is spending many an anxious hour. Many an anxious hour means the classes, continuous classes, he is sitting there in the same position. Why? Because he is not having the freedom, and he is not allowed to go outside. He has to sit in the class and he has to listen to the class, and he is not having any chance of expressing his feelings in the class, but he has to listen whatever is said to him. So this is the condition of the schoolboy in the school. And now he says that nor in my book can I take delight. Okay, now what he does, okay fine, I am sitting in the class and now I am sitting in the continuous hours, I am listening to the class, at least I'll open my book and I'll see what is there in the book. And now when he opens the book, what happens? He feels that he is not even getting the delight or happiness when he looks at the book also. Why? Because the topics which he is studying is not relevant, or he doesn't want to learn, or he is forced to learn, or sometimes what happens, you don't want to learn something and it is imposed to you and you won't feel like learning, right? For an example, if you hate a teacher in your school, then what happens? Whenever that teacher comes to the class, you don't feel like listening to that teacher's class. Or when you sit to read, when you open that particular teacher's notes, you won't feel like you are having energy to read. Why? Because you don't like that particular teacher or that particular subject. So the same thing happens happens here, the student doesn't like to sit in the class and learn, and he is feeling he's not having any kind of delight or happiness when he is learning through the book also. And he says that nor sit in learning's bower. Learning's bower means here it is actually a imagery where you can designate it to as the school. Learning's bower means a huge bowl, so it will be grinding bowl. Bower is a grinding bowl, and here school is designated as the grinding bowl or learning's bower, and then worn through with the dairy shower. Here he is having a continuous struggle, and he is feeling very tired, and he doesn't want to learn the things in the school, and it is forced to him. So what happens next? So let's see in the next stanza. Then my freedom, question mark, question mark, question mark. Where is my freedom? So that is explained here. He is asking the question, where is the freedom, question mark. So how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child when fear annoy but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? So now here the schoolboy is asking the question, as I have given the title for this stanza. Then my freedom, where is my freedom? So he asks, how can the bird that is born for joy and it is kept in the cage and it is asked to sing in the cage itself, and what is the nature of the bird? Bird has to fly in open sky, right? The bird has to fly in open sky, but it is kept in the cage, and there the order is given, you have to sit in the cage and you have to sing there. You have to be there in the cage and you have to sing. And now the same implication of that image of the bird in the cage is given to this particular scene, that the child is in the school and it is having a fear, and now it is drooping its tender wing. Like drooping down means you are like dropping yourself, and here the droop his tender wing means the bird or the child's wings has been dropped down without any energy. Do anyone has wings? Do anyone has wings? Anyone has wings? I'm asking you. No. So no one has wings, right? Now, what is the imagery here in this drooping wings? Wings means freedom, and drooping the wings means imprisonment. So, can a bird fly in a cage? Anyone has seen a bird flying in a cage? Okay, fine. 3 by 4 feet cage you may have in your home. So there the bird like flies for a certain extent, but more than that it cannot fly. So it has a limitation, and here the same thing here our schoolboy is also saying that what I have to do with my tender wings. I cannot move around freely in this life. I cannot move freely with my wings. And then in the last line he says, and forget his youthful spring. So what is youthful spring? The young age. Youthful spring means young age. So should I forget the youthful spring, or should I forget my childhood, where I'll be sitting in the school and I'll be spending my whole of the time in the school and I am not allowed to do anything what I wish? And should I leave my childhood back without doing anything freely? So should I be caged like a bird? Now the schoolboy is asking his mother and father that, oh father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay. So now he is asking the question to his parents, that whether if this childhood is taken by me, then what should I will become in the future. Here this sentence is not given directly, that you have to understand. It is given in a kind of a imagery through the nature, that if the buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, means there will be plant. For example, you will be having a plant in your backyard or front yard or in your house. There will be a pot and you will be having small plants, right? So just go and nip the bud. Bud is the tender like growing part of the plant. All of you have studied in biology in your 10th. So bud is either it will be a flower or it will be a fruit. So it is kind of a growing part of the plant. If you nip that, or if you rip it off, or if you break it, or if you take it off from the plant, then what will happen? Will it grow, or will it give you the flower or the fruit? No. And now in the flower, blossoms are, if they are only blown away, then will it give the flower? It won't give the flower. The same way here, these buds and blossoms are like kind of a image to the childhood of the schoolboy. If he says that my childhood is taken from me, then what should I do in my future? And then in the next line he says, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay. Now he says, if during the time of this tender plants, if they are only stripped of their joy, and in the time of spring day. What is spring? Spring here it is a European context. For Indian context, for example, after the rain plant starts to grow, right? At that time, if you are nipping off, or if you are ripping off a plant from its root itself, will it grow again? It will be dying, right? So if you are like ripping off my childhood from me, then what will happen to my future? So he is asking the questions, all these questions to his parents. Schoolboy is asking the questions to his parents. Now I will be showing you an image which will be very relevant to this both stanzas which I have discussed previously. So the caged bird and the nipping of the buds and the blossoms. So there I'll be explaining further about this stanza. So let's see that. So here it is, this is the bird in the cage. Actually you can see the bird in the cage, and it is in the golden cage, right? You can see that the bird is inside the golden cage and it is sitting there silently. So now it is kind of just imagine a bird, the cage may be around 2 feet from 1 feet, 2 feet height and 1 feet width, and it is there, the bird is there inside that. It is made out of gold and it is diamond studded and it is very beautiful. So, and it is like looking gorgeous. The bird is looking like elegant, and it is like very like royal kind of a thing. But look at the bird's eye. So is it happy inside that golden cage? No. Why? The bird is meant to fly in the sky, as I said you before, right? And the previous stanza. So bird is meant to fly in open sky. If you are caging it, its like actual feeling of bird will not be given to itself, right? The meaning of bird will be meaningless if you are caging a bird inside the cage. So now this image will be a clear cut understanding for you. And here in this poem, schoolboy is saying that the school is the cage and the bird is the students in the cage. So whatever the facilities will be given, or how much ever wonderful lecturers or teachers will be there to teach you, if you don't want to learn, then automatically it will be a cage to a bird itself. It won't be a open sky. But if the education is given to a person who wants that education, and under the tree also, if that particular education is given to that student who wants the education, then it will be feeling as if the student is sitting in the palace and high-tech classes. So this is kind of a thing what the schoolboy is trying to say us in these stanzas. So now let's discuss the next stanza. Now the schoolboy continues to ask the questions to the parents and to the world itself, to the readers itself, that can I get my life back? The schoolboy is questioning the parents or the society. Can I get my life back? Why he says? Let's see. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer's fruit appear? Or how shall we gather what grief destroy, or bliss the mellowing year, when the blasts of winter appear? Now here these seasons, summer, winter and spring. So all these are kind of a like imagery of the timeline. So like it is young age, adult and old age. So here schoolboy is trying to say that if the joy is taken from the summer time, that means if you are ripping off the plant in the summer season, will it give the fruit? No. And he says, what the grief destroyed, what the sorrows destroyed, if will that be given back to us in future? For example, parents say you study in plus 2 or 10 or engineering with very much dedication, and you struggle hard there, and then later on in the job where you will be like kind of getting all of the facilities, all of the things what you want, there you will be getting. But one point we all are forgetting, that once the childhood is gone, that is gone. Will it be given back when we get the job, or when we pass the examination with colorful marks? Will our childhood come back? No. So the schoolboy is questioning the system. What you have taken from us in this childhood, will it be given back to us when we are young? No, it is impossible. So he is questioning us, when the blasts of winter appear, will the previous summer and the spring will be given back to us? In winter it will be winter, right? It cannot be summer or spring. So once the childhood is gone, it is gone. So the poet and the schoolboy is trying to say us this one particular point, that if the time is past, it is past. So do what you feel right, and then you enjoy your life, and then don't sit back and don't mourn or don't get sad, or don't regret for the mistake which you have done in the past. And if you have done the mistake in the past and you are regretting, stop that and move on for the upcoming seasons or upcoming life. So we have come to the end of this video. Now let's discuss something about this poem in the point of view of the examination. How many questions or what and all questions may appear in this poem, and which are like kind of expected questions, or the thematic questions may ask, how many questions may ask, and which and all questions may ask for you in your annual examination as well as in your midterm and various examinations. So now the first point is the schoolboy's agony. Agony means sadness. So this is kind of a thematic representation. Second one is the thematic representation, and third one is the symbol. So here three kinds of questions may come. One is the schoolboy's agony, thematic representation and symbols in the poem. So schoolboy's agony or sadness, that may be a direct question. How does the schoolboy feel in the school, or what will be the condition of the schoolboy in the school in this poem, schoolboy. So this kind of questions may come. Or the thematic representation. In the beginning I have mentioned you what and all thematic representations are there: the nature or the condition of the school and the schoolboy in the school. So all these may come in the like question. And the last one is symbols. One are like kind of the thing what I have mentioned. One is the caged bird, and then the nature, and the summer season, winter season. All these are the symbols in the poem that you have to mention and you have to write for the answer. And here one question for 1 mark and one question for 4 mark will be coming from this poem in the annual examination. So these are some expected questions or the points which you have to keep in your mind while reading for the examination. So frame the answers around these points so that you can be without any effort, without any difficulties, you can write the answers for the examination in annual examination or in the midterm examination. So now we are in the end of the video. If you have liked this video, show your affection towards us by clicking onto that subscribe button below and clicking onto that bell icon. It is not the school's bell, but our channel's notification bell. If you click that, whenever we post the video, you will be getting the notification. So please click on that bell icon also and subscribe to our channel. So now it's time to wrap the video. Stay safe, keep learning. Thank you. Have a nice day.